Hey y'all, so today I'm going to be doing another monthly recommendations video. Monthly recommendations is a group that I'm in on Goodreads where every month we have a topic and we recommend books within that topic. September's topic is back to school books, but instead of recommending books that we read in school, we're going to be recommending books that take place in schools or have a prominent school setting. And I will leave a link to the monthly recommendations Goodreads group down in the description. And excluding the obvious Harry Potter, which really doesn't need to be recommended to anyone, I was only able to come up with like 5 books to recommend because usually I don't tend to gravitate toward books that have a prominent school setting. I love boarding school books, but I often get annoyed when like all of the characters in a book are in high school, which is why I go toward dystopian and sci-fi and fantasy. I digress. But I have 5 books to show you and I really enjoyed all of them. The first book that I'm going to be recommending is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. The main character of Fangirl is this extremely introverted girl named Kath, who is starting her first year of college. Kath has always really relied on her more extroverted twin sister Rin, but now that they're in college, Rin kind of wants to branch out and make friends other than just Kath, and so the book kind of deals with Kath trying to deal with her first year of college as this extremely introverted girl who doesn't really know how to make friends. And I loved Fangirl so much because I really just related to Kath so much. I'm a senior in college now, but my freshman year, I was essentially Kath. I was really introverted, I still am. I wrote a lot of fan fiction, and for the first like 2 weeks of classes, I really didn't leave my room except to go to class and to go get food. Like, that's it. And Fangirl is just so cute and adorable, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who is in college or starting college, who is introverted or just likes to spend all their time on the internet like I do. Continuing the college theme, my next recommendation is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Now, the school element is a lot less prominent in Vicious than in a lot of the other books I'm recommending, but the college that Victor and Eli go to is really the starting point of the book, and it's where they meet, and it's where one of the 2 timelines in the book takes place, so it's definitely a pretty key factor. In fact, Eli's senior project is actually the starting point for a lot of the extraordinary stuff that goes on within Vicious, and like I said, even though the school isn't a huge factor, it is kind of the starting point and it's pretty prominent throughout the book. My next recommendation is one of my favorite standalone novels of all time, and that is 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. The premise of 13 Reasons Why is that a girl named Hannah commits suicide, and our narrator Clay receives this package with these tapes inside, and when he listens to the tapes, he realizes that Hannah recorded these tapes before she died and is saying that whoever receives these tapes are the 13 people who are the reasons why she committed suicide, essentially. And while none of this book technically takes place in school because Clay is listening to these tapes, a lot of the stuff described in the tapes does take place in their high school, and the high school does play a really important part of the story because a lot of the events that kind of pushed Hannah towards suicide happened in their high school. And this book just has a really important message about how kids treat each other when they're in high school, and that's why even though it doesn't necessarily take place in a school, I think that it has a really important and prominent school element. Plus, it's just a really wonderful, heartbreaking novel, and I would definitely recommend it regardless of the school elements. And both of my last 2 books deal with magic schools, which are my favorite kind of schools. They're just super cool. The next one is The Rithmatist by Brandon Sanderson. In this world, rithmatists are people who are able to do a chalk-based form of magic. It's really detailed, so I'm not going to explain it, but the main character is named Joel, and he is a student at a school that has both rithmatists and regular students, and he is a regular student, and he has always dreamed of becoming a rithmatist. But rithmatists are chosen in this type of ceremony, and he went through the ceremony and was not a rithmatist afterward. So Joel will never be able to become a rithmatist. And I just really enjoyed this book. It was really fun and I loved the school setting. This is the first time in a while, like I've said many times, that I have fallen in love with the world and characters in such a small book. And I just really love the school aspect in this book because it's really interesting to see the way that the professors interact with each other and with the rithmatist students and then with the regular students. And it's just a really interesting dynamic and I really love it. And my final recommendation is my absolute favorite school setting aside from Harry Potter, and that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. In The Name of the Wind, the main character Quoth is telling the first part of his life story to this chronicler, so the entire book doesn't take place in a school setting, but about 2/3 of it does, and it is my favorite part of the book. I mean, I do really love this entire book. I gave it a full 10 out of 10 stars. It's one of my favorite books that I've read all year. But the best parts are definitely the parts that take place at the university. And one of the cool elements about the school is that even though it's a magic school, it isn't really a boarding school, so he actually lives in the town next to the school, and we get to see him interact with people both in the school and in the town. And so we get really cool scenes where he's in school, in class, learning, and then we also get really awesome scenes where he's playing music in a tavern. So yeah, I really love the school aspect in The Name of the Wind, and it is definitely my favorite part of the book. So that is it for my September monthly recommendations video. I cannot wait to see everyone else's videos and see what other school settings everyone really loved. As always, I will leave links down in the description to my blog, Twitter, and Goodreads. Please add me as a friend on Goodreads. I would love to be friends with all of you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!